जय श्री माता जी। सुबह के इस ऑनलाइन ध्यान सत्र में हम सभी साधकों का हृदय से स्वागत करते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। वी वेलकम ऑल brothers and sisters in this morning online meditation session. ध्यान सत्र की शुरुआत श्री माता जी को हृदय से प्रणाम करके माँ से अनुमति मांगने से करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया हम सभी बच्चों को सामूहिकता में आज आपके श्री चरणों में ध्यान में बैठने की अनुमति और ध्यान की स्थिति प्रदान कीजिए। We pray to Shri Mataji and seek permission for today's online meditation in collective. Shri Mataji, please grant us permission to sit in collective meditation. ध्यान सत्र की शुरुआत कलेक्टिव बंधन से करते हैं। Let us take collective बंधन।
Let us put ourselves into Bandhan after raising our Kundalini. Raise. Attention on your Sahasrara. Don't close your eyes. Push back your head. One. Again. Sit straight. Take it up on your head. Two. Three. Now a bandhan. One. Two. Do it properly, systematically. Three. All of us should do properly. Three. Four. Five. Try to wait as I'm doing. Six. Seven.
संतुलन हेतु हम अपना बायां हाथ गोद में और दाहिने हाथ को धरती माँ पर रखते हैं। श्री माता जी से प्रार्थना करते हैं, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारी सामूहिकता की ईड़ा नाड़ी के तमोगुण के सभी दोष और बाधाएं पृथ्वी तत्व में निकाल दीजिए। Let us pray to Shri Mataji by putting our left hand on our lap, right hand towards Mother Earth. Let us pray to Shri Mataji. Mother, by your grace, let all the impurities and negativities of the collective left channel be absorbed into the Mother Earth. श्री माता जी, सामूहिकता में शुद्ध इच्छा का संचार हो, शुद्ध इच्छा स्थापित हो, ऐसी कृपा कीजिए। O Divine Mother, please bless us with the pure desire. दायां हाथ गोद में, बायां आकाश की ओर। Let us put our right hand on our lap, left hand towards the ether. श्री माता जी से प्रार्थना करते हैं, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी के रजोगुण के सभी दोष और बाधाएं आकाश तत्व में निकाल दीजिए। माँ, भविष्य की योजनाओं के कारण, अतिरिक्त विचारों के कारण उत्पन्न हुई अति उष्णता, अहंकार इत्यादि दोषों को भी आकाश तत्व में निकाल दीजिए। Let us keep our right hand on our lap, left hand towards the ether. We pray to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, by your grace, let all the impurities and negativities, excessive heat, ego, all these negativities be absorbed into the ether. श्री माता जी, सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी में शुद्ध कार्य शक्ति का संचार हो, शुद्ध कार्य शक्ति स्थापित हो। श्री माता जी, प्लीज ब्लेस अस with the power of pure action. बायां हाथ वापस गोद में ले आते हैं। Let us bring back our left hand on our lap. Both hands towards Shri Mata Ji. दोनों हाथ माता जी की ओर। प्रार्थना करते हैं, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, सामूहिकता की सुषुम्ना नाड़ी में पूर्ण संतुलन स्थापित कर दीजिए। माँ, सामूहिकता की सुषुम्ना नाड़ी को पूर्ण रूप से स्वच्छ कर दीजिए, निर्मल कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, सामूहिकता में पूर्ण निर्विचारिता और संतुलन स्थापित कीजिए। Let us put our attention on our central channel. Pray to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, please establish the complete balance and thoughtless awareness. Shri Mataji, please grant us the thoughtless awareness state necessary for meditation. चित्त को धीरे से सहस्त्रार तक लाते हैं। माँ से प्रार्थना करते हैं, श्री माता जी, हमारे चित्त को सहस्त्रार में स्थित कर दीजिए, स्थिर कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, हमारे आत्म साक्षात्कार को दृढ़ कीजिए। Let us pray to Shri Mataji by putting our attention on Sahasrara. Shri Mataji, please bless us with pure attention and establish our self-realization. ध्यान की इसी अवस्था में हम श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी ग्रहण करते हैं। आज की अमृतवाणी है स्वाधिष्ठान चक्र और चित्त शक्ति। Let us listen to Shri Mataji's speech. Today's speech is on the Swadhisthana Chakra and power of attention.
Sahitya is called as Sahita, means which will be benevolent. Sahita means which will be benevolent. If it is not benevolent, then it is not Sahitya, it's not literature. Then it is trash. So that restriction, you see, which is there, which is given to us by great saints and seers, is still accepted. Of course, some people deviate a little bit they deviate. But once they deviate, it goes out of the society. People just don't read it. Say, for example, some people must have written this Kama Sutra or something long time back. But we never knew about it, we never read about it till the Germans came and made such an ado out of it. We never knew that there are such books. Even now, I don't know who wrote it, or I've never read such a book, I've never seen it with my own eyes. But we have heard about it, that people wrote such things. But actually, if you ask an ordinary human being in India who is maybe a scholar also, he will say, what's that? I've never heard about. But the Germans or the Japanese very particular on these things. They want to find out all such things. So these creations of ugliness, I should say, or of vulgarity, all these are a compensation for people who are very right-sided also. Because a right-sided man will always take to drink. Because, you see, he wants to compensate. So the right-sided man also will like such horrible things just to quench his thirst for power, you see. He's so mad, and then he would like to little bit neutralize that movement in such a way that his right-sided behavior is little bit compensated by the left side. So the people who are right-sided take to drinks very much. You will see people will work very hard, and 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday night, they'll just drunk. Then Monday they'll come out with a hangover. See, it's very interesting to note how human beings are. For 5 days, they will slog, and then 2 days they'll just go into a kind of a hibernation, as they say, and absolutely lost to the whole world. Whether they are doctors or professionals, they don't care. So whatever they earn in 5 days, they'll spend it in these 2 days in drinking and finish it off. So that's how the total gain in all that creativity comes. Now, when these extreme things start showing results, and then the artist gets just fed up with this kind of thing going on all around, he sees and all that. Then within him rises a subtler attitude towards creativity, towards art, towards books and all that. And then he starts in that reading about the true knowledge, pure knowledge. He wants to see paintings, or he wants to listen to music which sings of divine or divinity. Whole that madness makes him really think that now we should start doing something better. And then the Mahasaraswati principle starts working out. But in that also, when they start thinking of God, they fall into traps. Like, you see, somebody might fall into some sort of a religion. Now, as you know, these religions so-called are just money-oriented or power-oriented. They are not at all, in no way, spirit-oriented. That's the reason when they are not spirit-oriented, what they give people is a kind of a personality which is all mental. You ask them about Upanishads, they will cite verses after verses. Gita, they'll give big lectures on that, hours together. For this Chinmay, you see, if you hear him, he speaks for hours together on Gita. We get tired and bored stiff with his lecture. He can speak about it. But nothing inside. Nothing inside. And whatever they speak has no effect on others also. Because they are not awakened people, they are not connected with the divine. And whatever they do is just mental. So when the Mahasaraswati principle is awakened, you start seeing it clearly that this is mental, this is not the truth. There must be something higher. We read about all the spiritual works in their own religion in which they are born. Then they start moving out and reading about some other religions also. Then they think that every religion says the same thing. Then it comes to the Agya point. When it comes to the Agya point only, there then suddenly they realize that there is something wrong, that people are mentally only accepting this religion, and there must be something beyond this. At that point, if somebody gets the realization, he just sticks to it. But this Mahasaraswati principle has to be awakened in all the people who are musicians, who are artists, who are this and that and that. And those who have reached that state, then suddenly they can get realization very easily. I've seen some people, very great artists they are today, but when they came to me first, were not at all well known or anything. But when they came to me while singing only, they got their realization. Just singing. Or there was one gentleman who was just playing tabla before me. I was not so good. All right. And then I was in Pune where I saw him. And in Pune he was playing very well. And I said, he's the same fellow. But somebody said, no, mother, he's not the same. He was not such a great player. I said, all right, I had taken some flowers for these musicians, so I sent it. He came running and touched my feet. Mother, have you not recognized me or what? I said, I have, that's why I brought it flowers. I didn't know what to say. But the way he had improved now, he is a world-famous tabla player, world-famous. It has happened with many others, also with the Sarot people, with the Star people. So many people have achieved a lot. Musicians, they, after coming to me, they have asked me that please do something that we should be able to enhance our creativity. I just take to search, that's all. And when they were awakened, very surprisingly, today most of them are very well-known musicians and very famous in India. Of course, the Western musicians, I don't know where to lay my hands because I don't know till the way they are screaming these days. I think their throats will be out, maybe something, then they might come to me. But on the whole, my own idea is this. That those who have reached Mahasaraswati level through reading or through creativity, but through writings or anything, when they reach a certain state of Agya, then either they get disappointed, go to the left, and absolutely think that this is all useless. Or else, if they get realization, they become really very dynamic artists, very dynamic writers, and people who are creating something of an eternal value. So many Sahajogis who have never spoken on the stage, who have never been on the stage, they said we had a fright for the stage. They all, surprisingly, now have become great orators and speak very well and know so much. So, this is the Mahasaraswati principle. Now, this makes you a person much subtler, and you start becoming aware that the gross understanding we had about our art or our creativity has to be subtler. We have to be subtler people. And then such writers only appeal to people who are subtle. Like William Blake was regarded as a mad poet. I mean, in India I never read about him. I did read on my own, but in the colleges, university, they never had William Blake, or in any book as such, there was no William Blake. But when you go to these people and talk to them, there was one called Munro fellow. He has translated Gita into English. He's a very wonderful person. He is actually, I think, he's Italian. He lives now. He's no more. He lived in near Cambridge. I went to see him. He was very anxious to meet me. And when I went there, you'll be amazed, he did my arti and he said a mantra in Sanskrit that, "Oh God, you have come to my house. What have I done in my previous lives that you are in my house?" Such a beautiful poet, you see. And he said in Sanskrit language. He was a master of Sanskrit. So I asked him, from which book you have taken this couplet? He said, I have composed it myself. So beautiful it was. And then he said certain things from Gita and all that. And he said, Mother, I don't know, you might be, he was very old that time, he was 8 years of age. He said, Mother, maybe you might be able to change this English, but I don't think I've done anything. Even when I translated Gita, they are just reading only, reading Gita, that's all. So what's the use of my translation? Just like Bible now, they are reading word by word Gita, so finished. What's the use of doing this work? And he was so disappointed with the whole thing. So he said, what will you work out? How will you work out? I said, all right, I'll try. He said, of course, you are there, you are an incarnation. He just recognized me. I know you'll work it out. I wrote a very nice letter to me also. And then he died. But such a nice man, and he suffered a lot. Nobody tried to understand him. He said, I talked to so many scientists and things, and they are absolutely useless and very superficial. So I don't think in this country of England you'll be able to do much. It was a very superficial country. There were at least 20 English Sahaja Yogis with me. They were listening to it. He said they're extremely superficial. This language is superficial. They don't know about anything about spirit or anything about Kundalini. But he was a very well-read man, very deep person. And he told me that while he was studying, gradually he felt this Mahasaraswati principle. The way he didn't say Mahasaraswati, but he felt that there must be subtler knowledge. So he took to books like Gita, this, that, and then suddenly he felt that it's all reading again. It's just the same, like translation. Especially when he translated Gita, he was amazed that people were just reading it like Bible. Then he said that, Mother, I don't know how, but one day I was praying to Mother Mary and to the Holy Ghost, and I got my realization. So he was a realized soul. And he saw me in dream, you see. He said, in dream you came and gave me realization. It's surprising. He saw me in dream and he got it. There's another few people who have got it, but especially him, I was so surprised. So when I arrived in his house, he recognized me immediately. He said, I saw you in my dream. You came and you gave me realization. You awakened my Kundalini and you gave me realization. So you can imagine that this gentleman was so beautifully placed, so subtle he was, that at the Agya point, he just got the dream and he got realization. And he said, all the knowledge is now revealed to me so much more. And then he sat down with me. He said, can you stay for some time? I said, I'm now going away. But at least for 5 hours he was talking to me. He was not tired. He could not leave me. Such an old man was sitting at my feet. I was telling him, you sit on the chair. No, I'm very good. I'm very much all right. You're sitting there. So this is what happens with this Mahasaraswati principle developing within us. But we should allow that to grow within us. So in Sahaja Yoga, we are not told that we are not to read any book. Not at all. We have to read. But in that book, we have to see the subtle points and see for yourself. I don't read any scriptures because I don't need to read. But when I started reading these intellectuals, what they have to say, I was amazed that they are saying the same thing. There's nothing new. What I know, what I say, that's what they are saying. There's nothing new about it. There's nothing special about it. Just what all the scriptures have said, they are said the same thing, and these people are saying the same thing. But by saying this thing, how are they going to propagate? Nothing. It will be just again something that will happen outside, and it will drop out. It doesn't become part and part of yourself, so it has to become innate. That's only possible if your spirit comes into your attention. There's no other way out. So luckily you all are realized souls and your Mahasaraswati is very much there. But I would say you must read. Read books of value and understand how it is absolute Sahaja Yoga there. how it is there. Anything you take up, you will be surprised that all these books are talking about Sahaja Yoga. May not be all of it, but part of the Sahaja Yoga is there. All of them talk of some part of Sahaja Yoga, but not the whole of it, because they came at different times. And now the Sahaja Yoga is the time when you have to know the complete integrated knowledge of this religious thought that was there, complete integrated. And that's how you understand that all religions are integrated. So one should, in Sahaja Yoga, after you come, people don't take to any reading, is the wrong thing. They should read and understand what others have said, where have they gone wrong, but not these nonsensical people. You shouldn't read these nonsensical people, which you know are nonsensical. But so many, the other day I got this book of the Christian Science. It's all Bible, nothing special about it. They are saying you should not do this, you should not do this and all that. It's all written in the Bible. What new things are you telling? Nothing. You don't need a science for that, it's just there. But they are making money out of it by explaining, and there's no explanation needed. Because that has to come within yourself, is the point, which is not there. So now this Mahasaraswati principle is awakened within us, and we have to read and see the subtle side of this growth of thought, how it grew up and how it became subtler and subtler, and how so many people in the world have contributed to it. So many artists, so many musicians, and so many, we can say, writers who have really contributed to the central path of Sushumna. Because they became realized souls. They were realized souls. Some were born and some became, and then they completely wrote about the yoga. For example, Rabindranath Tagore, in the beginning he writes, how, when will I meet you, my friend, and all that. What you call the separation song, we call it yoga. And then after some time, suddenly he gets his realization, because he becomes subtler and subtler and subtler. Then he writes about his meeting the spirit, and he writes about it. So these things work out in such a manner for some people that by their subtleties they arrive at a point of realization. Same thing happened with Buddha. He did the same thing. He renounced everything, he renounced his family, went out, read Upanishads, this, that, everything he read, and ultimately reached Gaya, where he was sleeping under a banyan tree. And while sleeping only, he was so tired and fed up, he got his realization. And that's what is very important. But for the Buddhist, what he did before going there is important. So they want to also renounce this and become sannyasis, this, that. But by becoming that, nothing is going to happen. It's going to Gaya, and sleeping there also won't happen. It has to happen because he was a pure seeker, true seeker, and that's why it happened. But for Sahaja Yogis, they don't have to do anything of the kind. They just get it realization. Because I think most of them in their last lives have crossed most of their problems and have known that it's nothing, it's all nonsense in all these things. Or maybe in this life also they must have realized it's all nonsense. And then they must have come to Sahaja Yoga. So it's a very great luck for you that you are here and you've got your realization and that you're enjoying it. May God bless you. Another side which I have left over is the political side on the right side. You see, even in politics, the growth becomes subtler and subtler. Like in, say, we can say in Russia, when it was such a power-oriented thing, it's not money-oriented. The communism was so power-oriented, it reached a place that a person like Gorbachev was to be born. Who would put it in a proper sense? And he came on a central path. He didn't want complete democracy as it is in America. It's a democracy. But he wanted a balanced thing. So far, he has not been able to manage, but I'm sure one day he will be managed. But he will be known all over the world for his great thought and great work of reducing the pressure between the two great, or say, between the two ideologies. And he's done such a good thing that now there's no war, going to be no war, as not a very big world war, but could be a little bit here and there. That also is coming up, which is a problem of fundamentalism. Is not due to political but fundamentalism. So now the problem today is fundamentalism, and that also comes from the right side, absolutely. Fundamentalists are all right-sided people, and this right-sidedness takes them to any extreme of violence, could be, or in some cases, it's really crazy and madness.
जय श्री माता जी। कुछ देर हम ध्यान की इसी अवस्था में बने रहते हैं और संगीत का आनंद लेते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी हृदय से श्री माता जी को नमन करते हैं, धन्यवाद देते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपने हमें सामूहिकता में ध्यान करने की अनुमति और स्थिति प्रदान की। हम इसके लिए आपके श्री चरणों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम करते हैं। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे चित्त को शुद्ध, स्थिर और निर्मल बना दीजिए, ताकि हम इसी चित्त से अपने हृदय में निरंतर आपके दर्शन करते रहें और वर्तमान में रहें। श्री माता जी, आपकी अमृतवाणी के माध्यम से जो दिव्य ज्ञान आपने हमें प्रदान किया है, वो हमारे व्यक्तित्व में, हमारे आचरण में उतरे, ऐसे हम पर कृपा कीजिए। जय श्री माता जी। We thank you, Shri Mataji, by our heart for today's collective meditation. Shri Mataji, please bless us with the pure attention so that we can see you in our heart every moment. Mother, please bless us with the pure deeds. Let all your divine knowledge be part and parcel of our personality and our behavior. जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। लेट अस टेक कलेक्टिव बंधन। जो लोग यूट्यूब पर ये प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं, यूट्यूब पर ये प्रोग्राम अब बंद हो जाएगा, परंतु जूम पर ये चालू रहेगा कुछ देर के लिए। जो लोग अपने डाउट्स क्लियर करना चाहते हैं वो वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में जो लिंक दिया हुआ है उसको क्लिक करके जूम मीटिंग ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं और अपने डाउट्स क्लियर कर सकते हैं। Those who are watching the program on YouTube, the program will now be stopped on YouTube, but the people who want to interact with us and want to clear their doubts or questions, they can by clicking the link given on the video description. Jai Shri Mataji.